In this video, I will walk you through the back order and held items management page. The way to get to that page is through the main menu. You would go to orders and then item back order hold management. Now, this is a page that displays a lot of information. There are basically 4 essential things you can do on this page. You can put a product on hold. You can release a product off of hold. You can put a product on back order, and you can release a product off of back order. And this video is simply going to be about providing an overview of what this page does. There will be separate videos to describe or to demonstrate how to put something on hold, how to release something off of hold, how to put something on back order, and how to release something off of back order. Now, one very common question is, what is the difference between putting something on hold and putting something on back order? So when you put something on hold, GTI will hold the entire order. So if you're going to put Shadow Palette 6 on hold, and if any future orders come through with Shadow Palette 6, or any present orders that are in GTI that contain Shadow Palette 6, the entire order will be put on hold, meaning it's not available to be fulfilled. Nothing can really happen with it, and it can't progress through to fulfillment because it's on hold and it's being set aside. If you put something on back order, such as the Palette 6, then any existing orders that contain Palette 6 or any future orders that come through that contain Palette 6 will be assigned the back order status, meaning the Shadow Palette 6 will be taken out of the order and it will become its own package. And then the rest of the order, let's say the order had 5 different items in it. One of them was a Shadow Palette 6. The Shadow Palette 6 will become its own package, and that package will stay on back order because it has Shadow Palette 6 in it. The rest of the 4 items that are not Shadow Palette 6 are then put into their own into their own package, and that package is available to be fulfilled, packed, and shipped as a normal package would be, because it no longer contains the Shadow Palette 6. So once again, if you put something on hold, it is holding the entire order. You can't do anything with anything in that order. If you put something on back order, it allows everything to be fulfilled but that one product that you put on back order. So typically, back order is the less invasive measure to take when you have a product that is running low on inventory. So up here you would see a table that had a list of held items, if there are held items. And then right here we have a big table that displays the back ordered items. Typically you'll have a lot more back ordered items than held items. So we're just going to use Shadow Palette 6 as an example. The table will display the SKU in this column, the description in this column, and then this column is the number of packages. So the number of packages is essentially how many packages contain a Shadow Palette 6 that are on back order. Packages are not necessarily the same thing as orders. Orders can be split into packages. So these two numbers often get confused. This number represents the number of items. So this is the number of Shadow Palette 6s that are currently on back order. This is the number of packages of Shadow Palette 6 that are on back order. So hopefully that made sense. If you still have questions, feel free to reach out to a member of the inventory team or a member of the logistics development team, and we'll be happy to answer your questions about this. Um, this column right here is the inventory column. Red is bad, green is good. It is worth noting that this is the most accurate representation of inventory that GTI has at the time that you're looking at it. Doesn't necessarily mean that it reflects 100% exactly what you have as far as inventory. GTI relies on manual inventory syncs performed by people that get on and do a manual sync of inventory. And if that hasn't been done recently, or if, for example, you have just received a large amount of something and it's not recorded in GTI just yet, or if you have packages that have been processed but they have not quite been ship verified, there are, as you can see, situations where this number could be inaccurate. It's always wise to pull up your WMS, whether that be Snap or something else, and double check to ensure that you have as much inventory as you think you have. I would be cautious about releasing something that displays a fairly low amount of inventory because you never know, it could be somewhat inaccurate right here. So when in doubt, always check your WMS numbers for sure. This is the country column. They're all set to all. It's possible that we may want to single out a certain country. For instance, we may want to put something on back order in only Canada or whatever. I don't think it happens very often, but there could be situations that call for that. Otherwise, the all selection is the default selection. There is a restock column, and whatever date is put in here, it's typically put in by the inventory team, and that is the date that shows up on the website for presenters to see when the product will be restocked. There is a specific date, December 31st, 1969. It's a special date. If that date is put in there, then the wording on the website, I think it shows TBD, to be determined, but I may be wrong on that. A member of the inventory team could definitely answer that question a little bit better than I can, but I believe that that date signifies a TBD date or a TBD sign on the website. So that is restock dates. You're definitely going to want to double check with someone in inventory about what date to put in there. And then over here we have a big column that is titled Release Action. And this is essentially the different actions you can take to release something off of backorder. So the none action does nothing, and by default everything is on none, and that just means keep everything the way it is, don't do anything new. The permanent action is essentially saying release everything that's already there off of backorder and do not put any more of that item on backorder in the future. It's wiping it away. Whatever you have over here is going to be released, and anything that is ordered in the future will come through as a normal order and not on backorder. The next option that you have is future, and future is an interesting action. Future means that you are going to release whatever you already have on backorder, and then you're going to keep the backorder status for anything that is sold from the future. So for example, if I were to click future on the foundation stick Georgette, it would release this one package that contained this one item so that it could be fulfilled. And that would no longer be on back order anymore. But let's say 3 minutes from now, a presenter goes on the website and orders more foundation stick Georgette. It's going to throw that onto back order again. So future is a different way of saying, let's release what we have, but keep anything that comes through from that point on back order. If that is confusing for you, please consult with, again, a member of the inventory team or a member of the IT logistics dev team. We are always available to answer any questions. There is a by quantity action, and it's worth noting that the quantity is the item quantity. For example, let's say we got a shipment of 2,040 fiber lashes in. We have 2,739 on back order, and we have 2,000 that we can fulfill. We may want to release by quantity by selecting this and then putting in 2,000 because that's what we know we have. It will release 2,000 items off of back order for you to fulfill. It will not release all of them because that would be 2,739. It will only release whatever you put here. That's for the item quantity, not the package quantity. And it will release by oldest first. So that's a useful feature when you know that you would like to release a limited quantity, but you cannot release all of it. So those are your release actions. Again, if you have questions, please clarify with inventory or the logistics team. And then you can also select a warehouse to release off of for whatever reason. Maybe you don't want to release off of Lehigh, maybe you want to release in New Jersey, or what have you. It's very important to realize that you should have the correct warehouse selected in the first place because each warehouse has different things on hold and on back order. One last thing to cover here is there is a release all back orders button here. Definitely don't do that unless you are 100% sure you really want to release every back order. That's probably not something that you will be asked to do. That's probably something that inventory would do. But that button is there and that's what it does. If you ever want to look more closely at any of these orders, you just click the button. It'll take you right there. And then you can click this button and go back to the main page. The other common question that we get asked is what is the difference between the blue or the shaded products and the white ones. So basically the purple, so it shows blue on my screen, could be purple on yours. The purple is a rule that was created in GTI. And then the white indicates that it came in already sold on back order. So anything that is white indicates that when the presenter ordered it, the rule was already in place for it to be on back order. So it was essentially ordered on back order is what we call it. So that could be confusing as well. Like I said, this page generates a lot of questions, and that's okay. I just want to direct you to the right people to get those questions answered, whether that's a member of inventory team or a member of the logistics development team. So that is essentially an overview of this page. There will be subsequent videos that go over how to put something on hold, how to put something on backorder, and how to release something off of hold and how to release something off of backorder. So that concludes this video.